everybody. Welcome to this Hot D presentation. Okay, this is a little Robert Mercado world featuring JimiMoonshine and
Hey,
stillvinsane via the Keep Up page and podcast channels. Okay, we're going to be discussing season 2, episode 2 of House of the Dragon. We are ready to nerd out. This is my real hair. That is definitely Vince's real hair. That is a
Mm-hmm.
wig Jimmy Moonshine's got
yeah,
on. But
mine's as fake as hell. Mine's as fake as
True,
hell.
true,
okay.
true. Winter
So
ain't the only thing coming. Just saying.
okay. And let me pour into my chalice from the rock of hard. Hold on.
And we're
And
pouring into our chalice. I'll pour some H2O in my chalice.
yes. And cheers, y'all. Cheers.
Cheers. Ah man,
Cheers.
I'm gonna have to get my
No
water.
worry.
Not bad luck.
Oh, yeah, there you go. There he
There
goes.
you
It's
go.
okay. It's okay.
Cheers, everybody, as we begin this
So,
journey. Okay.
All right.
ooh,
Bravo.
Sip from this nipple.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna get into it.
Yeah.
Hot D season 2, episode 2. Rhaenyra the Cruel. Okay, I'm just gonna before this is not like a very formal thing. We're just gonna be doing the
yeah.
take by take, and we're kind of like drunk history because maybe we forget names or places, but we're just gonna have a lot of fun here. So I wanna, we have our special friend Jimmy Moonshine joining us.
Hey,
So
guys.
I just want to know what this episode, what comes to mind. Tell me, what did you feel? Give me some feels about it, some
Go
takeaways,
first,
right?
Jimmy.
Oh, I go first. Okay.
Yeah, come
Uh,
on.
yeah. It was like it was wild. Like the propaganda of it all, like had me going. Like the elements of everything. Like you had like political agendas going on. You had murder, you had intrigue. Like it was wild. Like to see the juxtaposition of characters from the first episode to the second episode, especially with like Aegon. It was like wild to see like the transition because of what had happened with his child. If you saw the first episode,
Yeah, we
so
can. This is all spoiler for everything
yeah.
that we've aired. You
Okay,
know,
so like
we
episode one, we know they
Oh, good,
killed
'cause
his
I'm about to
son. So
let
now
off.
we see like how crazy, like we see the turn. He was so happy and go lucky in the first episode, and now we see like that, like for comparison's sake, the Joffrey turn of it all. Like we're gonna see him
Joffrey,
be like
true.
this
He is very like
young,
that.
like mad, insane, like going crazy, like what he does later on in the episode with the rat catchers. Like it's, you know. So we see all
right,
this craziness unfold with Aegon, and I thought that was like the most interesting part of like the episode, like to see that change like so sudden. Like one thing could really make a person, you know, switch it
right.
up.
What
It
And
was
about
besides
you,
it,
it
Vince?
was good. It wasn't as good as the first episode. The first episode where you
And first
heard
episode of season 2, to
of season
clarify.
two, to
yeah.
clarify, the way you heard the bone just coming off its
Oh,
head, that was nasty. I thought that was really cool that they used a dummy to do the funeral. Helena is going through it.
mm,
Holy shit. And even though, like, that was very prevalent in medieval times, like all the incest and shit like that, you could see like you said, he was talking about Aegon and his temperament. That happens, especially when you're just inbreeding for centuries and shit like that. And the way that Otto threw that pin, I thought he was gonna murk him on the
uh,
spot. I thought this grandson,
Right,
he didn't even say
that was
call him
good.
Otto. He was like, yo, Sir
Yeah.
Otto. I was like,
He was like, pick it
oh,
up,
right,
you
pick
better
it
put some
right.
respect on my old balls, bitch. Shut the fuck up.
up.
Okay, nice. Well, I'll just say the whole thing took me for a ride. The first episode definitely was like a slow burner. Like we only heard Rhaenyra have one line, and it was like, "I want Aegon." Right? That's all she said in the whole episode.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.
And the
All she wanted
star,
was
the star
Amen.
eye.
Right.
Oh, and
That's
he was
all
like
she
laying in a
said.
fetal
So
position with
He
a
looked like
prostitute. What a
Lord.
little
He looked
bitch.
like I thought I was bugging when
Yeah,
he
what a
was.
little
I was
bitch.
like,
And he's
yeah,
that skinny. I thought
but
he was,
not
he had like
exactly.
no
Like I was
body.
like, I thought I was skinny, but hello,
Yeah,
like
but you're not like a future. Well, you are a
he
future
was like
king, but
Lord
like,
Voldemort. He was like Voldemort. Like,
yeah, word. He was like
like
shriveled up. Like,
yes,
put some
like
salt in that
right,
motherfucker. Like,
right.
eat a
Um,
sandwich.
eat
I
a
will
sandwich.
say I was very excited with everything going on. I felt like all the developments coming, and just like, okay, so once they got reported, we're gonna take everybody through a step by step after I say this. But
Yeah.
what stood out was, Rhaenyra now getting this monarch, right? Or how did I put it? They're calling her Rhaenyra the Cruel. That they have this
Oh.
propaganda, like you said,
Yeah.
Stephen. They're spreading all this propaganda about her, and that is that political intrigue where you can see how propaganda, it's a huge part of politics. So it was cool seeing how that all worked out, and we're gonna go through a little bit of a play by play of the episode of just some moments that happened, just so we can get through it and kind of talk a little bit more about it. But let's see. I'm just gonna go through like about 12 different points, and then we can come circle back. But okay, so this episode, right? We had
Yeah.
Cole's orders to Arik,
Oh.
Arryk. Okay, so
Yeah.
Kristen Cole orders Arik to infiltrate Dragonstone and assassinate Rhaenyra, despite Eric's hesitation. Okay, let's just talk about that. What the fuck were you thinking, Vince, when you heard that?
Oh, repeat it. I was gonna look
Yeah,
for some graphics.
when Christian Cole was sent to Dragonstone by himself to go after Rhaenyra, what were you
Son,
thinking?
yo. So my brother has read the books. He's read all of it. He's read the back. We got him for Christmas one year, and he got like the whole backstory shit. And oh, let me get the comments as well. I thought that was genius. So if you, if anybody watched or read Game of Thrones, Sansa Stark has kind of like a wet dream of this sequence. She has idolized this battle in particular, and she wanted to recreate this battle. That's why this is such a big deal. This battle, it's like a big forelore, and the twins went against each other, and they
Hmm.
did such a good
Yeah.
job with choreography that I
Excellent.
couldn't even tell myself. It was like being at like one of those baseball games where like they do the cups and you lose the magic cups. I was like, what the fuck? Which
Yeah.
one is the twin?
Or
And they
tennis when
both
you're like
got
boom,
injured
boom,
at the
boom,
same
boom.
time. They both hit each other in the same spot, so you couldn't tell who it was until he fell on the fucking sword. That was
Hmm.
genius. I don't think it was genius to like send the twin. I thought that was like pure assassination. It worked because they're both really good warriors. They're good soldiers. But that was a dumb
That
plan.
was like a cartoon. That was like some Team Rocket shit. Like,
Yeah,
we're gonna send the twin, and she won't even notice because it's a twin.
and are they
Stephen,
But
really
what?
the like the
twins?
love story of it
Or
all, like
did they
the love
CGI that shit?
story.
Is it CGI or was that really
No,
twins?
they're
They're
twins. Like
twins.
if
Okay,
you watch the behind the scenes, like they're actual, like they're twin actors. And like I said, the love story of it all, like they loved each other, but they were just on opposite sides. It was like Civil War era America, like
Civil War.
we're like
So
two brothers on the wrong side, like
True,
picking
true.
one side, and you have to show loyalty to who you chose, and like the heartbreak of it because they loved each other to the very end, like to the
yeah.
very end. Like it was a love story amongst brothers, and I thought that was
But
beautifully shot. Like I
It
thought that was
was.
so
It was.
beautifully
so
done.
tell me, okay, now do you think that from what the creators wanted, did they want us to know which one was which in the end? Because I felt like for the audience it may be different from the book, right? Because I think in the book it's, Rhaenyra's Eric is the one that survives clearly, and then dies or something, or they die together, whatever. But in this I felt like they did kind of want to leave it up. It felt like, for me at least, that they wanted to leave it up to the audience of like, oh, maybe this one had a regret. He's the one that lived, but he had a little bit of regret, so he threw himself on a sword. Or it was the other. You decide. Did
I
anyone
didn't
get
read
that?
it.
Or
I didn't read it, but
like just from the show, did you feel
Yeah.
like it
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 was it
was
was the well from what we saw, it was the one that came in to infiltrate. It was the assassin that killed what's her name's Rhaenyra's guard. Yeah, he's the one who died first, and the one that laid on the sword is the one that came in for the assassination because I think he felt guilty.
okay? See, and what did you think, Stephen?
I was
Mr.
tossed up. I
Jim.
thought like it was open to like interpretation, but
Right.
I thought like maybe it could have been him. But then when I
Yeah,
was like the way he looked at her, I was like he looked at her like I fucked up. Like I shouldn't have done this. Like I was the assassin, you know? Like
yeah,
I
that's how
shouldn't
I
have done
felt.
so
I thought
like
it was her. I thought it was her guard
yeah,
that
but the way
finally
she
defeated his
grieved, it seemed
brother,
like she
and
saw
then
something in
felt
him that
bad
it
for
was
killing
him.
him.
Yeah. Like the
Nah,
way
not
she
that.
looked at him, I thought she grieved like she looked into his eyes and knew that that was him. Like the way that she grieved, the way she like broke down when he threw the like, cause she broke down, like she like sobbed, like So I was like,
Well,
she had to have a connection with this guy. So maybe like they're leading it up. Like I said, it's open to
That's what
yeah,
I don't know if they
yeah.
said it in their commentary. That's why I'm like, if anyone maybe heard what if the directors wanted it to be one, or if they just wanted to leave it up to us. But
Yeah.
it's
from what I
interesting. Like,
read, from what I read, it was what I said, but
okay,
they did want to confuse us. The
Yeah.
yeah,
whole time they wanted us to think the whole fight we had no idea who it
And we
was.
don't give the White Worm enough credit because she saved Rhaenyra. If Rhaenyra did not give the White Worm the grace and hold Damon's like
I was
word,
wondering that. Who did she
like she
tell?
stuck.
Because I
She
saw
had
her
to
look
tell
back
the
and like
brother.
say, "I don't
She
want to
had
go on
to
the
tell the
boat."
brother. I think she ran and she told like, "Yo, your twin is here."
But why didn't
Like
they
can't
get
do that
backup? Why did backup take so long? It was like
because
calling.
it had, like I said, it was a
What
whole
were they
love story
blackballing the
amongst
cops? What were
brothers. It
they?
was a love story amongst brothers. Like that's why he
Okay.
well, they
didn't
are
like.
the
He was like,
blacks.
if
They
anyone's
are.
gonna
They
kill
are the
my
blacks.
no, but if anyone's gonna kill my brother, I'm gonna kill my brother. Like I'm not gonna
Yeah,
get
no,
like
you're right.
people to do that. Like
I could see
this
that.
is
I could say
personal.
that,
Like
motherfuckers. I got this.
yeah, this is
Okay,
personal.
It's a
and so
family
with all,
affair.
and so
Yeah.
with all that said, we know. Let's see. It says Eric pretends to get his twin to get close to Rhaenyra, almost getting exposed by Mysaria. So with this fight that happens, I think I was watching Screen Crush, and they asked this question to the panelists. I want to ask you guys. I know you've all have watched Game of Thrones. Where do you think this fight lands in like
What show?
his? Where do you think it lands in like the history of like great epic moments for the Game of Thrones franchise? Like, is it like one to remember? Like,
Top three. Top three.
The brother battle?
Yeah,
yeah.
top three.
Mm, I would I wouldn't go as far as top three, but top five. Top five.
So,
Top
The
five.
only
all
one
right,
better is
Vince,
for me is the brothers, is the other brothers that were on the last
the
episode.
What
Mountain,
Where
about the
they get 'em
Red
out.
Wedding?
Yeah. Oh no, battle. That was a slaughter. That wasn't a battle.
That was it was an ambush. It was
It
which
was
still
an
it
one?
ambush.
wouldn't be considered
No,
a
I meant like an
battle.
actual sword battle. Like they actually like
Uh,
one like
okay,
yeah.
so that was top three
Yeah, the only one I
definitely.
can
And
think
like
of that's better is the one on the last episode.
It's
the
like the
Battle of the
Mountain
Bastards.
was involved. Well, the Mountain versus
Oh,
his
the Mountain
brother,
versus
and then
the
the
Mhm.
Hound.
Viper,
The Hound or something. The Hound.
and then versus
Or even the
the
Sand guy,
Viper,
like the Mountain versus the
the
Dorn.
Viper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, the guy from Dorn with the eyes.
And of course, Arya
yeah.
versus the
Pedro
freaking
Pascal.
Night King, but
No,
that wasn't really a fight.
oh, no, no,
Arya Stark,
no,
you said?
no, 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 no. Sorry, I may be canceled for that, but
It wasn't
no.
really a fight though. It wasn't really a
That
fight.
last season, no,
That was more
garbage.
like
Throw that whole last season in the trash.
oh
Throw it
yeah,
in
I
the
don't love that
trash.
season either. I don't love
No,
that season
that
either.
was not
Well, hold on,
George
but
R.
that
R.
was on the
Martin.
last season. The other fight that we just talked about.
That was not George R. R. Martin's vision. Like, I'm sorry.
No.
Like, Arya is not just gonna come out
The
and
Mountain versus
no.
the Hound was good though. That was
It
good.
was
Yeah, that was
one kind of
amazing.
paid off, but let's not discuss that last season. Don't get me started on
But
that Cersei,
but
the
that
Cersei
literally
Jamie
was.
death. The
I don't
Cersei
love. I don't love
Jamie
the
death.
Starbucks season either.
No,
I'm
the
just saying we can't
Cersei
erase
Jamie
it.
death. That was
All right,
garbage.
so we got that. So okay,
Yes,
so the twin combat was generally well received. That's
yes.
good
Yes.
from at
Yes.
least from us. Okay. Now you already mentioned this, Vince. The drama of Otto Hightower being dismissed by his
Mm.
grandson. Woo!
You impetulant fool!
Bow.
Right. What do you guys think? You think he was just wishing he let, Rhaenyra keep the crown? Like, what do you think?
Yes. Yes. I think he wanted that from jump. Not from jump. I think he
No.
really wanted his daughter for a while, but I think his plan was just by marrying Viserys. But once that fizzled out, like he was like, all right, well, we got like he knew he was very loyal to the king, even though he tried to get his daughter to be queen. That was the most that he could manipulate the situation. Other than that, he loved the king, so he didn't want to like totally try to dismantle everything. And that's when she thought that she heard him say that, he never believed it. I don't think he ever believed that like he said that during his sleep, and he was high on
Yeah.
poppy because he was dying.
Mm.
Period.
What do you say,
Like
Steven? Mr. Jimmy
exactly. Like
Moonshine.
Aegon was never supposed to sit on that throne.
No.
That was rightfully Rhaenyra's throne. Like from jump, he wanted her to. Like he said, "To hell with all the noise." Like I don't care that traditionally men have sitting upon the Iron Throne. No woman has sat upon it ever. but
Oh yeah,
Rhaenyra is
her
gonna be
mom
the
was
first.
supposed to.
But
Like
wait, but do you
Rhaenyra is gonna
think
be the first.
Otto regretted putting his grandson in the place?
Yes,
Yeah,
because like
absolutely.
he didn't deserve to be there. He knows that that's not what the actual king wanted. Like that's not what was
And
supposed to
well,
happen.
besides what the king wanted,
Yeah.
I know like he puts him there. He definitely helps make sure he secures that bag to get him on that throne.
Well, Kristen
But do you
Cole did
think?
that. That's why they call
But
him
are
the
you saying
Kingmaker.
now you believe he has major regret that he did that? Okay.
Yes, I mean, look what happened. Like he was
He said
like,
it
this one,
too.
like
Is that
this,
what you
this
think?
is going
Is
to
that what you
shit.
thought?
Yeah.
Right.
Like he wouldn't
Yeah.
have gaslight. Well, not gaslight. He wouldn't have put that idea in his head if he didn't already believe it.
He thought he was gonna have more control of Aegon than he
And he
actually
wanted to
has.
make him feel insecure when he left the room, like when he threw the pin at
Mm-hmm.
the knights, and that was stupid.
But
Yo,
I like how he like
but
walked
but
away
that's
and then
very
the
on
king was like, "You
theme.
are dismissed."
Sorry, Steve. Go ahead. What'd you say?
No. How he was walking away and then the king was like, "You're dismissed." Then Aegon was like, "You're dismissed." I'm like, I would have turned around like, "I'm already walking away." The fuck? Like, what you mean?
I
Like, I'm
quit.
already walking
I fired
away.
myself.
Right.
Like, I'm already out. Like, what you mean? You
Right.
are dismissed. But I'm already out the door.
I
What
already
you talking
clocked
about?
out. I already clocked out, bitch.
Bye,
Or
deuces.
like the nanny said, actually, you fired me so I could collect unemployment.
For real.
That
Go
part.
Queens. Go
That
Queens.
part. Actually, you did fire me. Right?
you know? Okay, that's interesting. So I agree. I think Otto is definitely sees they're in over their head with what they got there with this king because he is a piece of work. But you guys mentioned that he is very cruel and things like that, and you also mentioned that the high towers. I think you were saying something about they come off like asses or whatever. But I think, or at least Aegon did, Aemon. But I feel like
Wait,
he's
Aemon is a Targaryen?
All the
the
Targaryens.
one
They
with
all
the
suck. They're
eye.
all inbred
He's a
nastiness.
Targaryen, not a High
No, the
Tower.
one with the eye, right? You
Yeah,
That's
said
a
a
Targaryen, yeah.
yeah,
Targaryen.
yeah. But you said
Yeah.
you guys were saying like he's a jerk or whatever. But I felt
Well,
like
not
they
really.
try.
Sure.
He's also kind of misunderstood because remember they used to
Yeah, I
bully
feel
him as
like
a
they
kid.
try to humanize
Like,
all of
All
them.
nerds, all
of
nerds
course,
feel misunderstood. He's a little
Right.
fucking bitch.
he's a
And
little
that's what
Columbine.
happens when
Like
you
he's
give
like a
bitches power.
Westerosi Columbine kind of guy. Like, oh,
Yeah.
he got bullied, so boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom,
exactly that.
boom.
Yeah, that's what he
But
is.
he got his eye taken out because he was about to fucking beat the head in of one of those boys, and then they
Yeah,
had
an
to
eye for
defend
an
him, and
eye.
he
I
got
understand whatever, but
you
they
know.
took it too far. But I
Yeah.
love the fact that they showed him show regret. Like he did not mean to like he just couldn't
That was
control the
wild.
dragon. Like
That was the
he
best
showed actual
CGI
remorse.
I've
Like
ever
he showed
seen.
remorse.
Even to this day, that last episode where the dragon
Like
ate him in
chomped
the
him up.
sky. I replayed that scene like maybe like 15 times. They did a really
Yeah.
good job with the
They did
graphics.
a really good job. Yes,
Really
kudos.
good job.
Yeah.
That was like movie. That was like movie quality.
Quality.
That was wild. And no, he's a bitch. They need to. I can't wait until they kill him. And this makes sense. This makes total. I'm glad that this happened because again I don't know any of this backstory, but I don't think Damon and Rhaenyra would have had children if this didn't happen. I don't think they would have joined. And those are the ones that are more prevalent Targaryens in history in the family tree. So if she would have just had the bastard children, we wouldn't have had more of the family tree for the Targaryens. If you look at the family tree,
Oh, right,
the
right.
ones that are with the knight, the bastard children, they're not the ones that inherit
Yeah.
the crown.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad
Yeah.
that happened because that wouldn't have transpired.
Because what? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
some of the things
No
that
spoilers.
I wrote down in my notes that stood out, right, were just some of the dualities, right, that was going
Yeah.
on. So for the blacks, they had the Mistress of Whispers, Massaria, and then like Rhaenys as the hand, right, sort of. And then on the green side, they have Laris as almost like the hand, because he's like kind of like, or sorry, not the hand, but he's like whispering to like the Master of Whispers, right?
Oh,
He's
the foot
like,
guy, the foot dude.
yes, the pussy eater,
He had the hand and
Little,
the foot.
Littlefoot instead of
Little foot.
Littlefinger. He Littlefoot.
right?
He Littlefoot.
And then
Hate that dude.
yeah, and then we
Yeah,
have
he's scummy. He's scummy.
He
where
smelled like fungus. It smelled like athlete's foot.
where Rhaenys was, the hand essentially to Rhaenyra. Right now we have
Don't get
Otto
me
back
started
with the
on Rainy.
Greens. But then, you know, we have the second sons, right? Where it's like Aemon and Daemon. in the greens and the blacks, right? And they're the wild cards of both of their family, of both of the houses. Where like Aemon, you never know what he might do. Might get his dragon to eat one of the kids, and Damon might send a fucking rat catcher and whatever to fucking chop the head off of a fucking kid. You know. So there's some of that duality going on. Anything that stood out to you of like how the show showed like how they both have their own things going on but still similar that stood out, like, or even just
Those
like things that
particular
were
characters.
contrasted?
You goes first, Steve, but I just wanted to
Wait.
clarify those two characters, Damon and Eamon. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Steve.
exactly. Me too. I was like, hold on, kind of like, ooh, I was looking
Yeah,
at
go
the
ahead,
picture,
brother.
and I got a little like. So we talking about Damon and Eamon, right?
Yeah, just like, you know, with all those, you know, that the people,
They're
the
very
team,
similar. I agree.
yeah, like they have their teams, you know, and it's kind of like everybody has their players that still, like, if it's like chess, then they kind of all do similar things, you know. Someone, they each got their own hand, they each got their own crazy warrior knight, you know. So it's like, do you, either of you feel like you would like to be more on one of those teams?
Never Eamon's.
I mean, I
Yes,
would be
Damon.
on
Yes,
Team
Damon.
Black. Like, I'm not with the Team Green. Like, to heck with the high towers. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not
true.
with
I don't
them.
know
Like,
about
I'm not with the
towers.
Greens. Like, everyone, Allison plays the like demure, innocent role, but the way that Rhaenyra showed her true colors in season one, when she made her hold that knife up to her, and she was like, "Now everybody sees you for who you are." Like the Greens are not as noble and as prestigious as they make themselves appear to be. Like they did get down in the gutter the same way as the
Okay,
Targaryens
but can
do.
I ask? All right, I want you both to answer this.
Of
Okay.
course.
Is there a, between Rhaenyra? Let's first with the ladies, Rhaenyra and Allison. Who do you feel like maybe in some ways you kind of could relate more to? And then as performers and actors, who do you feel like, or as viewers, who do you feel like has the juicier role? Whoever
That's
wants to go.
That's hard to say. I think both Joes are really something you can really sink your teeth into. Like they're
You
both
gotta pose the
the
question again.
two
I can't.
characters are so
Couldn't hear it.
Oh,
interesting. Oh,
I was real quick, Steve. I was just saying, looking at Rhaenyra and Allison, which role do you think is juicier to play if you were a performer, like as that character? And then do you relate to either of them more? Like, can you see yourself in either of them more? That's the
you know,
question.
like I was saying, I think they're both like two very diverse, totally different, but very interesting characters. Each of them, like the love they have for their families, is what connects them and what makes them like similar. But then, other than that, like their morals are different. Like how they consider, like the way they present
Do
themselves
you
is
feel like
different.
Allison
But
loves her family?
it's
That bitch couldn't even fucking go to like comfort her son when he's there.
Yes, I do believe she loves her family.
she does. She
I
stood
just
in
feel
front of him when they could, like I said, don't get me started on Rhaenys, because she
Tell
stood
me. I
right
want
in
to
front of
hear.
her son when Rhaenys popped out of that dragon hole, and she could have ended the war. We wouldn't have season two if Rhaenys just burnt up the high towers when she popped out of that dragon hole and just. But she stood in front of her son. She loves her family. Like that. Like that's what makes them similar. And she has love for Rhaenyra. But I
it's a
don't think
game.
Rhaenyra shares that same sentiment for Allison. Like
It's a game.
Rhaenyra
And
is
I don't
done.
know how far they're
Rhaenyra
gonna
is
go
done.
back because this definitely is gonna create another spinoff. That's for sure. They were
Well, there's another
producing.
show coming out next year.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They were producing three at one time, and then the other one, like House of Dragon, is the one that made it out of the testing.
All right,
That
I
everybody
want you
wants.
guys to talk amongst yourself just for one moment, just like secure my charge of
He's
my phone. I'll be
verklempt.
right
He's
back.
verklempt.
Talk all about me.
So
But
well,
anyway, but I feel Damon is the one that I love the most. But he's also, in my opinion, the best actor. The one that they
oh,
have playing Rhaenyra, she's kind of a newbie.
but she's amazing as a
She
newbie.
is
Like
no.
she's a scene sealer.
Is
Like
that
she comes.
Emma? Yeah, that's Emma DRC. She's awesome. I
She's
really love that cat. I
amazing.
think she's so fire.
And the woman who plays Rhaenys is a very veteran actress who's been on a
Oh yeah,
lot of
yeah. She
like
was in The
and
Crown. She was just on
yeah,
The Crown.
like
She was
and Nurse
the
Jackie.
mother of
She
Kate
was on Nurse
Middleton.
Jackie.
Yes, she was on Nurse Jackie. I love Nurse Jackie. She was so good.
She was that
I
uppity like rich
forgot about her on
and
Nurse
like
Jackie. She was
the
one of the best. Oh my God.
yeah,
Nurse
like
Jackie was so good.
she's awesome.
Oh my god, I missed
Uh,
that show so
I
much.
heard you saying you just love Damon.
Mm.
Well, first of all, he's the best actor. He's the one who has the most awards and shit like that. I do
Well,
love Black Sheep.
Viserys?
King Viserys is amazing too. King Viserys in season 1,
That
he's
Damon's
well
better.
renowned. Like the way he
Yeah, but
played
my
that
man got
position from like
more hardware from the
healthy to like
Crown. They both were on the
that
Crown.
was
A lot of them
amazing
were on the
though.
Crown.
Like his performance in season 1 was like amazing.
I
Yeah.
hear you, and
Very
especially
memorable.
I hear you. There was definitely an episode where they were all like, "Oh, give him the Emmy right now." I
Yeah.
hear you,
Yeah.
but Matt Smith, man, Matt Smith, everybody
Yeah.
knows Matt Smith. Like Matt Smith.
Yeah. It's like he does a lot of heavy lifting for the show, you know. People definitely I feel like he's
Yeah.
I feel
He's the
like
name. Like,
he's
you know.
he kind of gives the Jon Snow vibes that people love him, like they tune in because you know, or like Spike from Buffy,
I
you
think it's
know,
more like Jamie Lannister. I think it's more the anti-hero. I
like
think
Spike from Buffy. Is that accurate? You remember
Spike.
Spike?
Oh yeah, that's an anti-hero. Yeah,
Yeah.
Spike from Buffy, that's another anti-hero. Like
Yeah.
one that you
Yeah.
can't tell what their motives are.
Deadpool.
And that's another one. I think Deadpool. That's the ultimate anti-hero.
Anti-hero. Anti-hero.
But I think the stark difference, no pun intended, between Eamon and Damon. I don't think Eamon really cares about his family that much. I think he's more. I think the boy needs therapy, to be honest. But Damon, I think Damon actually does love his family. I think it's just hard for him to transfer his energy because he really is built to be a king, and the politics just really didn't add up for him to be that. And so I think he's doing the best that he can.
Okay,
I
so
think he
then
has resentment
When he
against
didn't
his
get it,
wife.
it's the same way the aunt is. The aunt is operating the same way that he is right
so
now.
let me ask. You know, Damon brought up something during the show, and he was like that his brother pretty much almost like undermined him by choosing Rhaenyra. What do you guys think? Do you think it was more because he had the dream and he wanted to see Rhaenyra on the throne because she deserved it, or was it because, like Rhaenyra said, she knew he couldn't trust him? What do you
I
guys
think
say?
I think when you're a king, like it's not logical to like when you have children, you're just gonna give the throne to your brother. No, logically, you pass it on to your child. That's his firstborn child. He was doing what he was supposed to do as king and protecting his succession. And his
Hmm.
firstborn child just happened to be a woman. So sorry, brother. If I didn't
Steve,
have
that's what you
children,
would tell.
the
But
throne
back
is
then, that's
yours.
what
If
you
I
would
didn't
have.
have, the throne would be
Steve,
yours if I didn't
back
have
then you
children.
would advise that though. You would if nobody respects a woman king back then, you would say, "Yo, still make a woman king." Because Hightower was correct. They don't respect even now. They don't respect women. Even Alliston,
They
they
don't
don't respect
respect
women.
Rhaenyra. She's over
Yeah,
there
that's
being
what I'm saying.
challenged,
So you would
and
be bucking
Rhaenys
the
is like,
trend
"Mind
early.
yourself."
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
this
But I
guy's
right.
still
choking
think there's
her.
Stay
like
heartless.
the
Stay
way that
heartless.
he raised her, the fact that she was there from young, like viewing the council, seeing everything, like he was raising her to reign. Like, so I think
I thought it
people
was
were kind
bold.
of behind it. She has her, it's not like she doesn't have her supporters. Like, there are people who respect her and think that she is the rightful heir and should sit on the throne. It's not like
She
she's
should.
crazy and making it up. Like,
Oh yeah.
like there are plenty of supporters for the blacks. So, like,
Scared,
it's not
scared
like
money don't make no
she,
money. So I
yeah.
agree. I think he did the right thing making Rhaenyra, especially Damon would have brought them down. As much as I like Damon,
Damon is too hot headed.
yeah, he's too hot headed, and he definitely would have brought the kingdom down real quick.
Okay, so then wait, let me ask you. I know, Steven, you don't have brothers or sisters, but I know Vince, you do.
We're his brothers. We're his
Would
brothers.
you have slighted? Would you have taken it, or would your brother have taken it as a slighting if you would
Hell
have
yeah. That's the
yeah?
biggest promotion of all time. Of course. Hell yeah. The Iron Throne. Hell yeah. I
He
would have
would
been
be pissed at you too if you if you got him
yeah.
passed
I don't know
But
if
over.
I
what
would have begged my
royal in history
niece.
has done
I
that?
don't know if I would have begged my niece, but I definitely would have been upset.
But there's no
Okay.
royal in history. Like King Henry is not going to give it to his brother over his child. Like like you
But a
don't give
He
it
woman.
to your
was. He
sibling. You
was.
give it to your
He
next.
was.
Give it to your child.
But that
Like,
was the plan all along. But you're right. Once he saw that
yeah.
Damon couldn't be trusted, he was like, "This is the perfect opportunity
Like the
to
perfect
do what's right
example would.
inherently."
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Steve. Sorry, I'm done.
No. The perfect example I think in history would be like King Henry. Like he had no sons. So at the end of the day, like King Elizabeth had to take the throne. Like, and Queen Elizabeth brought in like one of the best freaking like
The
renaissances
golden
in
era.
English
The golden
history.
era.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
so
The
like I
golden
feel
era.
like Rhaenyra was kind of like in his eyes, like the
She
queen.
is very
Like
like.
I didn't have any sons. Like my second son was like, like that
And
guy's
and I think,
so Rhaenyra is the best choice.
I think to Vince's point, like, does it seem like what you would actually advise someone to do? It's like we know that Viserys wasn't the wisest necessarily with his choices,
He wasn't supposed to be king either. He wasn't
Yeah,
right.
supposed to be king either. So it makes
And
sense.
so,
exactly.
he's
Ma-
like he doesn't have the best strategy. So him picking Rhaenyra makes sense with his strategy because he leads more with his heart. Like he was a
Yeah,
soft leader. He didn't, he depended on his hand and everybody to kind of like make decisions, and he didn't like to upset or ruffle feathers. So it makes sense that he would go, yeah, my daughter, she deserves it because
That's
she
why
is my,
But that's why Otto was the perfect hand for him. Just like, and I don't mean to say, but I love Obama, but Obama was inexperienced, quote
yeah,
unquote, when he got into. So that's why they surrounded him with a very old cabinet. The same thing with Daenerys. Varys. He needed a very experienced hand, and so does Aegon. Aegon needs it
mm.
more than anybody because he wasn't
He's so
ready.
young.
He was so
he's
young. He wasn't
insane.
ready. He's very immature. They haven't even shown the other son yet. I heard that they got the other son in another village.
Yes, I have his name here. Daeron Targaryen.
They're
Yeah,
planning on releasing him. They're planning on introducing him this season.
Yeah, he is. He's gonna go see Alicent's son, Daeron Targaryen. He
Did you
is the
see
fourth.
that?
He's
You
the
guys
fourth
see that
child of
meme?
Alicent
Oh,
and
sorry.
King. Sorry, I was just saying he's the fourth child of Alicent and King Viserys. He also plays a big part in the book. So,
Yes, yes. Did you guys see that meme where they said Viserys looking down at Aegon ruining his Lego set?
oh, I'd be pissed. But
right.
okay, and that was something that came to mind while I was reviewing the episode. Like going over like the details. Now we remember, he starts breaking apart the set when he hears the news of his son being killed. And I
Yeah,
think it contrasts, like you said, he was raising Rhaenyra to take over the throne. He
Yes.
was not raising this boy to take over the throne. So I feel like in that moment, it showed he was even upset with like his father. Like, you didn't fucking prepare me for any of this
yeah, because
bullshit. This is
yeah,
so it's like he's upset at his
and that's
father
why
for
his
not
son was there
preparing
at the
him for this.
council. That's why his son was
Yeah.
there at the council because he was like, "I'm gonna do what my father didn't do. Like, I'm gonna raise my son the way
And
like
his
I
father
should have
was
been
fucking
raised."
him over still because he wasn't prepared. He didn't prepare him for this role. And because he wasn't prepared for this role, he allowed, he was in the position where his son could be slaughtered in his own castle. And he
We
doesn't even
talk.
have a clue of what's going on because he's such a fucking brat.
So I
Yeah,
don't think that Allison is a bad mother, but I do think she's fucking stupid. I don't think this bitch is fucking sex addict over here, getting her fucking box eaten out while like Cole is supposed to be on watch.
oh, and then when Cole
And
Wouldn't you
walked
let him
and
eat
this
by,
your
is
box?
perfect Game of Thrones.
and
Game of
the father
Thrones.
was
If
like,
you're wrong, you double down, and that's exactly what they did. What'd you say, Steve?
like he didn't even wash his face after that. They
I
went into
know,
the
I
council
know.
meeting, and
Where
right
were
when they
you?
walked past Otto, they was like, "I smell pussy."
When
like,
you wash your face,
like,
Where were you?
like he just
why do
walked
you
by me and I
ask?
smell pussy.
A long red hair.
What? This is Game of Thrones. Stop it. Stop it. Sit on it.
Oh my god. Right. I think
yeah,
yeah, Christian Cole, he's a little bit hard to resist. I can understand. I
Oh,
can
he's a good looking
understand.
guy. He's a good looking guy. But
Mother.
fuck, man, this dude, he's literally now. And you can put derivatives on a bunch of people of like how this is transpiring. But I
right.
really would put up the argument that he is the biggest reason why this war is about to break out.
I could see that. Tell
He's the
me,
one who put Aegon
take
on
me
the
down that
throne. He
rabbit
said
hole.
the
Why do you
king
say it?
Because if he literally would have defended, and the rat catcher wouldn't have cut off the kid's head, and then you can't pinpoint to Rhaenyra, and then the war is still bubbling. Nothing really has set off the war yet. This is definitely going to set off the war. I don't think the people are behind anybody yet. I think they're really still pissed about what's going on, so they could go either way. But as far as the militaries are concerned, they're definitely about to go. They're definitely whoever's allegiant to each other, they're about to pop off.
I think the war was going to start regardless because of the fact in season 1 when Jaehaerys got eaten up. Like, Rhaenyra was not going to stop. Like, that started the war for her. The
But
same
she's
way
very
Aegon got
strategic.
upset when his son was killed.
She's
Like,
still
and he
pretty
wanted to
even
start the war.
tempered,
Rhaenyra
though.
was like, I'm done. Like, now it's over. That look, like the final look of season 1 when she just looked at the camera, said no word, just showed like her pure emotion of like, they just killed
Well,
my son.
the aunt
War
commended
versus
her. The aunt commended her. She said, "I would have fucking just scorched the earth after that
the
happened."
aunt
And
should
she
have
But she
said
scored.
it.
waited a
No, to
while.
hell with the aunt. To hell with the aunt. She
And
had
she
the
said it
chance to
too. She
scorch
said
the earth.
Rhaenyra is the
No,
only one
the aunt
keeping
had the
this shit
chance
together.
to scorch the
Yeah.
earth. She could have burned those high towers, but she
Um,
didn't. She could have
okay.
burnt those high towers.
I need to be a Steve's Game of
all
Thrones.
talk.
Like, there's a lot of
all
action
talk.
going over there.
She
So
all
let's
talk.
ask this. Okay, so let's go right into Rhaenyra and Daemon's conflict, right? Because Rhaenyra blames Daemon for the prince's death, and Daemon denies involvement and then leaves and seemingly maybe gathers
He admits
forces.
it when he leaves, though.
He's heading out to where is it, Hightower or some wherever. He's out, you know. So how do you think Rhaenyra handled it? She called him pathetic. You know, she definitely shows growth from the little girl she was being groomed by this man. She's
Yeah.
done with it. As far as
She's-
I'm concerned, she's done
I
with
think
the
they're
bullshit.
very similar characters, the two of them. He's just a man and gets to freely do what he wants to do, and she has to restrain herself. But they are very
true.
similar. Like when she said, I want Aemon Targaryen," like she knew what she was doing. Like she knew like she was gonna set him off. She just cannot allow herself to be that unhinged because she's a woman and she has to like there's
That
a
too.
certain level that she has to
I don't even think, you know,
perceive. But they're similar they're very similar.
Very
I
similar.
think
Daemon
they
and
have
Rhaenyra.
similarities. I won't say that they don't, but I don't think she necessarily views herself through the frame point of being a woman. Like what I get from her is that it's more about what it's like being a woman may not come first, but it's definitely the honor of being like she is the fucking king queen.
Yeah.
So it's like that is above all. You know,
Yeah.
like she's over there going through her labor, giving her sons, you know, like you must go over here and you must go over here in the middle of giving, like almost having a stillbirth or whatever, like when she's
Yeah.
going labor, you know. So she is all about her duty. She takes it
Of
very
course.
seriously. On the other hand, Damon, I feel like that's how they differ. You know, he's like over here doesn't give a fuck about like loyalty to like the prestige of the crown, you know? So I think that's their biggest difference, and that's why she is more suited for the throne.
But remember, even in season 1, like she really didn't care about the crown and all that stuff. She was sneaking around, going to those alleys,
But her
like
father being
doing
dead
her,
changed
like
that
she was
all.
doing her
I
thing.
think
She
she
never
wanted
like
it.
that's how they are similar. Like she's very much like I'm gonna do things by my own rules. She
But when
just
her
like
father
it's just how
died,
the
all of
public
that
perceives
changed.
her. Like she doesn't care about like it's not her saying that I'm a woman, like looking at it that way. It's she can't do things because she knows how society is looking at her. Like society looks at her differently. Like so she can't like get away with the stuff that Damon can get away with. But if she could, like if people like looked at her, because people give Damon excuses all the time because he's the second born and he's a man and he can do this. So like she's like, I don't have that luxury. Like, but if I
don't know.
did,
I
I
don't-
would be
I
just
totally
as
agree.
unhinged.
I totally agree. But to add another facet to it, I think that I agree. She did go hard at first, and she was trying to manipulate the situation by having a friendship early or a grooming period with Damon early. But that was like a mutual kind of like transaction too. But she had such a huge admiration for her father and a great relationship with her father that once her father died, like you said, that dissipated that whole aura. And now she sees what her father saw in Damon now. Now that like she's able to now she's not dick whipped anymore. And so she's able to look at David and be like, oh, wow, this is what my father saw in you. Not only did I want to be queen, but he wanted me to be queen, not just because of inheritance, not just because of family tree, but because he knew that that was the right move for this kingdom. And I see it now. I'm looking at Damon right now, and I see exactly what he saw.
But can
I
Damon
think
be trusted? Do you think Damon can be trusted? Like, do you think he
No, but I
wants
do
to
think he's
selfishly
loyal,
does he
but he
want the
can't. But
throne
it's
for
hard to trust
himself?
him. No,
Like, does he want the throne?
yes. I think you have to, just like the aunt said, I think you have to have a little bit still behind you, but
Right.
it's dormant. They keep it deep inside. I think he is loyal to Rhaenyra,
Yeah.
but I think that he's human. He still wants the crown. I don't think he's gonna try to take it from her though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's gonna try to take it. I wouldn't think he's gonna try to take it from her either. I think she could trust him to a point, like you're saying that. But keep your eyes on him. Don't ever take your eyes off him for a second, because you just don't know what could happen. It's like watching the boys, and they talk about like I don't trust you. She's telling Butcher, like, I don't trust you to watch my son legitimately. Like, I feel like the wrong second, you're gonna just let something happen to him, and you're gonna say you don't know. And I think same thing with Damon. He might let something fucking happen to Rhaenyra, right? Like, oh no, she died.
Oops.
Like my other
Yeah.
wife. Oops.
Well, who else
You
are you gonna
know.
trust? There's not that many people to trust. And the other one that is like the most trustworthy is in the same position as Damon, the aunt. So you can't really have a perfect person to trust.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a good transition to some new characters that showed up, right? The introduction of Alan and Adam of Hull, the blacksmith, Hugh Hammer, setting up, future plot lines that we saw that, we know will come up eventually. What do you guys think? Did those characters intrigue you?
What are you talking about? The brother of the sea snake?
Right, right. Those guys on
Oh,
the
the guy.
island that they
Oh,
introduced.
that's crazy. I used to love him on that show, Raised by Wolves. He was really good.
Okay,
Raised by Wolves
nice.
was a good ass show.
That was fire. I know. I was so
And it
upset.
like
So
ended
is
without like don't get
But
I
do
know.
you feel like that actor is like someone like, oh, that means he's gonna have a really
Yeah.
good character?
I definitely felt his presence when he got off the ship. I definitely felt like he was gonna. They had something big in store for him.
yeah, like there's a big setup coming. So like I'm excited to see what's gonna unfold.
And
Okay,
usually the
and then
ones that say that they don't want war, like the warriors that say they don't want war, those are the ones you're like, he's about
Watch
to
it.
whoop some
Big
ass.
coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
People that don't want war, they're the ones that really the ones that fight. I'm like, I agree, homie. Step back.
what do you? Okay, so when Rhaenyra was in the court and everybody was like, oh, I thought maybe you did do it. Just like a moment of being upset. Do you think she handled it better than you would? Would you have told that person, "Fuck off"? Don't you challenge me or say like? I feel like I would have been pissed.
You already
Like,
know me. I'll be like, what?
how would you
Well,
have handled that?
She handled it with
I think
grace.
Steve was right. I think Steve was right. Like especially in this time of medieval times, she's a woman. Nobody wanted her to be queen. Some did because they were big fans of Viserys. But as far as like what was in between her legs, that's what they did not want happening. So just like Mama Louise said, she has to play the perfect game because there's many people. It's 250-50. It's 250-50 of like people who want her on the throne. So she has to play a Damon, he was the crowd favorite, so he could make mistakes, and he's a dude, and
Yeah.
especially back in those times. But at that time, she has two things against her, and she has to play a perfect game in order to stay in it.
Okay, Viserys does stability around relations. Oh,
And Viserys is a perfect example of men falling upwards. That motherfucker, like I
I
said, he was not supposed to be. He was a cousin.
Yeah.
That's how
Exactly. I
bad they
feel like
wanted a
he felt
dude to
guilt,
rule the
and that's
kingdom. They
why
got
he
a
wanted
cousin
Rhaenyra.
over the aunt. She should be the worst. She should be the
Yeah.
most pissed.
I felt like that's why he also wanted his daughter on the throne because there was some type of guilt. Like I wasn't supposed to be on the throne. Like the
Exactly.
woman
That's
was
a good
supposed
one.
to
That's
be
a
like
great one. Yep.
Rhaenys. So like he
Yeah,
felt some type of guilt, and that's why he was so adamant about making sure his daughter took the throne.
Bing, bing,
oh,
bing. Yeah, I couldn't say that any better. That was perfect.
so how do you think like Rhaenyra's assassination attempt? Okay, we're circling back to that.
Oh,
How do you think that's gonna play out? So that that's how it ends. What does that mean? Is it like they already assassinated or killed one of the Jaharis, right? So what? She said she wasn't down with that, but what is she down with? Is she gonna like? Is it gonna get bloodier? Is it
of
gonna be a
course.
more
Yeah,
like
not yet.
It's gonna progress worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and
right?
worse as we go along. Like it's
What?
just gonna be like there's no
Slower.
coming back. Like
How
two
would
boys
you?
already
Okay,
dead.
this is the small council meeting. What do you guys? What do you recommend for her to do? You just
What do
got
you
an
recommend,
assassination
Rhaenyra?
attempt. What do you
Yeah.
tell her to do?
I pretend like it didn't happen. I would pretend. I not pretend. I would
Yeah.
put the guys that it didn't happen because I don't want the war to pop up yet. I still want there to kind of be like a Russia-US Cold War going on. That's the only way that she's able to control it. She does not have the biggest dragon. She would lose at this moment. She hasn't even gotten all of her alliances together yet. So she has to still play it cool.
What do you say, JimiMoonshine?
I agree that she has to play it cool, but it's also like easier said than done, especially when
Yeah.
you're in that like position where it's like, oh, they got me, and you wanna retaliate immediately. But she definitely has to play it cool. Like I said, she has
Especially
to think
a kid,
10.
of
She has
course.
to think 10 steps ahead of everybody else because of the position that she's in, and she's already like behind, so she has to keep that in mind. Like she can't be too rash and like emotional with her decisions. Because then people are gonna
We're on
like.
episode
There's already
4.
this propaganda against her. Rhaenyra the Cruel is the name of the episode because the way they paraded that dead child
Okay,
around the thing with the grieving widow and the grieving mother and the grieving queen consort, like behind this dead boy's body. All
And
this
you threw it
propaganda
all
is that
away, Aegon.
Rhaenyra is this
You threw it all
evil
away.
woman, you know? And he tossed it away by hanging the rat catchers. Like,
right.
so like
So
it's like, does she attack now because like now it's kind of like, so she needs to put it out there. Not only did he hang these rat catchers, he sent an assassin to kill me. He's really the cruel one, not me. Like, so does
Yeah,
she
but nobody's
like
gonna believe her.
play the
Nobody's gonna
game,
believe her.
do you think
or
it's
is no
just
one
gonna
gonna believe
keep
her?
getting worse? Like worse decisions for Aegon? Like he's just gonna keep making
Of course,
shitty, like horrible.
he's gonna descend into freaking
Because
evilness,
we
and his
see.
wife is gonna descend
That's how
into
the books
madness.
go.
Okay,
That's how the
because
books go.
right in the first episode of the season two, right, they're he's like, oh, the goat herders are coming. They're like, oh, we don't have enough food and blah blah blah. And he's like, oh, so then we shall do this. And then Otto's like, actually, we can't do that. And then he's like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, all right. So you can see that he does have a softer side, right? Like that he does. There is a part of him that does care about the people, but then this shit seems to just completely tear him apart.
I don't think he cares. I think he's just a politician, and I think he's a very conservative hand. And I think, especially so with the first Viserys, he wasn't ill-tempered, but
Yeah.
he wasn't that smart. So Otto had to really, really like with childlike gloves. With this one, Aegon, he's a fucking hothead. He's fucking insolent. He's a hothead. So he has to be even more conservative. Be
Yeah.
like, and it looks more conservative because it's so far out. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. So anything he says, like, yo, it's always gonna seem like it's laid back, but it's really not. And I don't think he cares about the people. I just think he's well calculated. I think he knows what a kingdom. I think he knows like what revolts happen, revolutions, all those type of things. I think he knows how to prevent those.
Because remember, Aegon was like, oh, he said, let's just make this guy happy. And he said, how will he know? And then Otto's like, when the king speaks, everyone hears,
Yeah, he's been through it.
Right. So it's like, I do feel like there was some sides that Aegon, even if he doesn't like necessarily care for the people, I think he does at least, he was starting off with at least thinking maybe there was some good he could do, or at least some love he could get from the people. Like, who doesn't want to be loved? Oh, love me, whatever. So I could see a little bit of that in him. Um, let's see. So how does Damon's departure to Harrenhal to raise armies foreshadow future conflicts? And what might this mean for his relationship with Rhaenyra? Do you think he's just gonna stay over there, and he's just gonna be like, I don't know. I'm like, that's his MO, right? He takes over a dragon or to wherever, and he's just like, I'm gonna run shit from here. Fuck you, I can't deal. Is that what's gonna happen now? Do you think?
I think he'll retreat to like where he's going, but when shit hits the fan, like he's not gonna leave like his wife to like struggle. Like he will enter the war, he will come in with his dragon, like he will like be on the black side. Like he's not just gonna be like, well, you got this. Like he's just being his temperamental self right now. He need a little time out. So go do what you need to go do, and like he'll be back when he needs to be back. I feel like I don't
I
think
feel
he's
like
gonna leave her high and
Damon.
dry.
I feel like Damon is a classic Gemini. I feel like when people feel that you're gonna do something hot-headed, you want to prove
Yeah.
people wrong. So I think like it's just so prototypical for people to think that he'll pull off a Julius Caesar. Like he'll just go raise an army and just go try to make a usurper when he comes back and take out the original Caesar. But I don't think he's going to do that. I agree with Steve. I think he's going to do exactly what he was told. I think and he's there's going to be some mystery, of course. Like he's not going to be like totally allegiant looking, like as if he's like a little bitch. But he's going to come back and be like, "See, I raised this army for you, motherfucker. Let's go. Let's do this."
So okay, so do we think Otto's just gonna bow away into darkness and fade
Of
away, or
course
he's gonna
not.
just
Oh,
He's a high tower. Like,
Otto?
Otto, no.
yeah,
So
he's
do you,
not going
No.
but do you
away.
think he's gonna be trying to set up? Well, first of all, is it in him to get this grandson killed so he could find one that he could put in place? Because everybody's saying Daron is like, oh, I think Allison said he's more agreeable, and
Yeah.
clearly Aemon is out of the picture because he's not like you can't get him to do shit. So are we
It'll be
gonna
like
try to?
Joffrey with like his younger brother. Like Joffrey, there was no controlling Joffrey. But when you got little
Oh, and
homeboy,
the
I
younger
forgot his name. What
brother.
was his name?
Yeah, the younger brother committed suicide. That sucked. He like jumped
Oh
out.
Yeah, but
yeah.
he was more agreeable. Like he was someone you
Oh,
could
yeah,
control.
agreeable. Yeah, sure.
Like
He
like,
was, but like a little bitch. Like
and that's
Joffrey
what
would
they
have never
want.
committed
Like
suicide.
that's what
Yeah,
one of the hands
Joffrey.
would want. Like someone that they can control fully. Like you may be the king, like you are the head, but I'm the neck. Type of situation. Like
Listen,
I make
I think we would like a fair ruler, but I think in this time they don't give a fuck. They want somebody strong. And
yeah
so even though Joffrey was a little bitch, like I think more of the high court didn't like him. I think the regular like what's it called? Not the court or the actual people of the not the court. What are they called? Just peasants, the regular peasants. I think they like that. I think they like an assertive leader. They don't care if he's evil or not. I don't think like because what's their name? They dealt with it a lot. Aegon the
yeah.
Conqueror.
It doesn't matter who's on the throne; they're still gonna be fucked
Yeah,
over. Like,
Daenerys
they're
was
not
about to
like
be just like that too. Like they enjoy that. They're like as long as he's
Daenerys was insane.
yeah, she ended up being insane. We were rooting for her, and then we
We
had
were
no
all
idea.
rooting for you.
Yeah,
Like
we had
that
no
was
idea she
insane.
really was like she really had that Targaryen blood in her. Like, yo, like
Yeah,
it's not,
like
it's
they
for
said,
real.
every time a Targaryen is born, the gods flip a coin.
And I thought it was really cool that he was going to go meet with the Tyrells. They're big shit talking crew too, and rich and try to manipulate from the side. And I like how Allison was like, no, go somewhere. I was like, ah, man, I was like, I wanted to see the Tyrells. I wanted to see them like commingle like back in the day. That would have been cool because I loved Tyrell what she did with the poison and shit. That was dope.
What do you think of Allison? She was there lighting her candles, and she did light a candle for her
Oh,
mother first, Allery, I believe. So she still holds on to her
yeah.
mother. And we see that when she dumped herself in the tub, she was naked, but she had on, I think, her 5-star pendant, or the 6-star, what do they call it?
The seven, of
The
the
seven
seven.
star,
Yeah,
yeah. So it's like she kept talking about I've sinned,
yeah.
and then
I don't want
she's
to hear it.
yes. So that I don't want to hear it
I
moment.
like that. That was
What did
good.
you think that was about? Was it because he's just like he's disinterested? He's like I don't need to know. Like
Mm.
what? Why do you think he said that? Knowing
A bunch of
Otto.
reasons. Go ahead, Steve. Though I have a bunch.
Take it then. I'll rebuttal.
I think he's over it. I think he's over it. I think. Okay, so I think he knows that his plan backfired a while ago. I think that in order for yes, everybody has ambitions. There's nobody in that show that's ever not had their eye on the crown. Some more than others. Otto for sure. But once he saw that his grandchildren were a piece of fucking shit, he was like, what did I do? Why did I go along with this plan? Why did I even set this up with Allison? Which again, that was his plan all along. But once he saw the grandchildren sucked, he was like, oh my God, I really hope Rhaenyra takes over the crown.
No.
And it didn't happen. Even when Allison was like, oh, he like looked at her like, because he knew the king very well. He was like, he would have never said that. So he rolled with it. But then when he threw, I think he was done. When he threw the pin, he was like, I'm over it. And he didn't want to, what's it called? Plausible deniability. He was like, yo, not only am I over this job, I don't want to know because I don't want to think lower of you. And I also don't want to, I don't want an extra person to know so that like, if you get in trouble, I want to just be like, I know shit. So keep it going. Keep it moving, girl.
What do you say, JimiMoonshine?
Yeah, I agree that Otto is just like he's done. Like he's over it. Like the shenanigans that's going on. Like he keeps trying to rule these what he deems weak rulers. Like
Yeah.
he, I think, has aspirations like everyone in the Game of Thrones universe to sit on a throne himself. Like I would make such a great ruler. Like like that's in his mentality. Like I can rule the hell out of these seven kingdoms, but I keep dealing with these idiots that I have to babysit. Like and
I
he's just
feel like
he's over it.
he's over it. I think he was exhausted by his grandson's insolence.
Yeah,
I think that drained him. He's like, I
he makes him
can't.
look so weak. Like he makes him
And
look so
but you
weak
know
by doing
what?
that, reacting the way he reacted.
And
Like I put so much in place to make us look good in this
Yeah,
gang and
that
this
council
war,
puts a lot of
and
work to
you
make them look good.
tossed it away. You just
you
threw it
think
away.
about, okay, right? So in the episode, they directly show um Rhaenyra comforting her son when he comes back, right?
Oh,
And
that
she
was
like
beautiful.
immediately gives him a hug and he
Yeah.
breaks down. She shares a moment with him.
Oh yeah.
And then you contrast that with Allison, that she's like, she, okay, first of all, she doesn't, we see directly, she doesn't hug her son when he's crying. She literally walks out the room. But then on top of it with Helena, the way she was manipulated by her own father.
Oh,
See it happen to Robert now.
Robert gone. We don't know
Oh,
what
yeah,
happened.
he's back.
Oh,
He's
he
back.
back.
He's
He
back.
back.
Oh
Back.
damn!
He
Yeah.
back again.
Oh, I think I got.
So Allison pretty much shows that it doesn't feel like there's, like, the blacks seem like they has more love, where the greens, I get the, you don't want your kid to die, and that's, I think,
Yeah.
the general basic instinct, but I don't feel like there's as much love as what's going on between Rhaenyra. Like, they're real people. Like, Allison was kind of had those babies out of duty.
Yeah.
Rhaenyra had her sons out of
Out of
like hot
love. Out
passion,
of passion.
love.
Because like the Targaryens are like new money and like the High Towers are like old money, if you look at it like that way.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they have like where because they were
That's a good
rulers before
comparison.
the Targaryens came flying in and took over the Seven Kingdoms. The High Towers were one of the most prominent like families in all of Westeros. So they're old money. They're the Kennedys. Like
I said
and
that.
like the
Oh, God,
Targaryens
my bad.
coming in, they're more loosey
Yeah.
goosey. They're sexual. They're free. Like they don't hold themselves to these standards of like what like
Yeah.
even
what
they
like no we don't do that
I
like
agree.
we're very like free with it like we sleep with each other like we don't care
they
like
got
the High Towers are
the
very like
their church to allow them to have incest without,
yeah
they,
That's so common, unfortunately.
but they
That's
were
so-
like, they made it particularly a rule that Targaryens could do that
yeah
it's okay for them,
it made sense for them. It made sense for them. They like in real life, there's no dragon powers.
yeah
So
they
like,
want the blood of old Valerians
yeah,
like,
exactly.
they will
So
only
for
be
them,
with Targaryens or Valerians
for
like
them, it makes
because they
sense.
want that
The white
old
hair and all that,
bloodline
you wouldn't get that
yeah
if you didn't breed, unfortunately.
and I hate the controversy from like the stupid fans of like, why did you make the Valerians black? I'm like, they're fictional characters, guys. Like,
Yeah.
get over it. The Valerians are
Oh yeah,
black.
I
Like,
remember
deal
that. That
with
was
it.
last season.
Yeah, they're still
Hopefully people
going
got over
strong about the hate. Like, they're still like
it.
hating
Oh,
on it.
spoiler alert! This hair's not real, too, guys. Just
It's
saying.
not what?
One of my
I
friends,
gagged.
I was watching the earlier Game of Thrones seasons, and he was a big drunk mess. I think you guys met him, Devin. And he came over and he's like watching the episode. He wasn't really into the show, and he goes, "Man, this is so not realistic. How is there wheelchairs in this show?" And there was a wheelchair in like Winterfell or something like that near the Night Watch. And I looked at him and I said, Devin, you've seen dragons, you've seen zombies.
Put the wheelchair through
Right.
you. The
I know
wheelchair
the,
through
the
you.
takes you
wheelchair is
out.
what messed it up for you. The wheelchair is like, hold up, I got enough. My
There was-
imagination can't go any further.
There were no
Right.
paraplegics in Westeros.
Yeah,
There
like-
was no paraplegics in Westeros.
Right?
How
Just-
dare you?
Right?
How
And
dare
just
That
eugenics.
took
Just
me
throw that
out of the
motherfucker in the
fantasy.
fire. Like,
That took me out of the fantasy. It took me out of
Right.
it.
All the display. So was that like heartbreaking? Okay, so I was talking about the contrast, right, between Rhaenyra and
And her son.
Allison.
Yeah.
And so, but we did, and I was getting at, Helena, how she manipulated Helena the same way she was manipulated by her father. But it all leads up to that big procession of having to march her son down,
His
through the
corpse.
streets. Did you think that the head was gonna fall off?
I was waiting for it to roll out.
I thought it was gonna
When they
roll
got
off.
stuck in the thing, like I thought it was.
Yeah.
I did too for a hot second. At first, I was like, no, they did a good job secure. But I brought myself back to the moment. I was like, I did think that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, they
That would've
cannot
sucked.
do
They
that.
probably did have a scene like that. They probably edited it out. They probably
It's on the
did have
cutting
a
room
scene
floor. It's
where
on the
they were like,
cutting room
nah,
floor.
never mind.
I think they knew we would think it, right? Like they
Yeah,
wanted us
exactly.
to
Because
build
it was
that
like
tension.
that stitching doesn't look too secure. That stitching doesn't look
Right.
too secure.
And
It's giving Sally from the night.
Right, put the club on that shit.
and I
Who
gotta
got
give
super
it to
glue? Who
them.
got super glue?
You know that the direction of the episode was gorgeous. Like it really told the story. Like, you know, that moment where you have Helena and she's looking and all she sees is like she's looking at the crowd and she's like very lost. And then you see that come up for Rhaenyra too, where it's like the dust particles and she's just like lost for a second. And
Wait
it
for
was
the
like
shot,
another
right?
beautiful, like just focused in shot. I was like,
Yeah.
they really
Yeah, it was
it-
beautifully. It was well done.
The
Like,
first
it was
Game
well
of
done.
Thrones, I don't know how much the budget is for this, but it looks like the same budget. The first Game of Thrones, each episode cost $2 million to make. So like they're putting all their bones into this shit.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. It's a big moneymaker.
And this is probably costing even more because now they have more dragons. Like
Yeah,
remember in the original
The
Game of Thrones,
CG.
we didn't get dragons for like a while.
Yeah, and it's better graphics than the Game of Thrones, the dragons.
Yeah.
This one is like top tier. Holy
Mhm.
shit! Every scene they don't play. They do
So
not.
each episode is probably costing them $3 to $4 million.
I agree.
At least.
I agree.
Okay, so who do you guys want to see more from, and who do you want to see like? Who is you tired of that you want them to die?
Go ahead, Steve.
I don't think there's anyone yet that I'm tired of, and I'm
Amen. Amen. Die.
No,
Die.
I want to see
Die.
what Aemon can bring. Like
Goodbye,
Aemon is an
Aemon.
asshole, but like if you kill the asshole right away, like
I was over Aemon right after the fucking drag. Actually, I was over Aemon because I'm not a fan of the Columbine kid. Sorry, Columbine.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of.
you're not a fan of the little skinny.
Yeah,
guy.
like I get revenge, but like killing a whole school or killing a whole kingdom or like taking
Well,
the biggest
keep watching.
dragon on earth, like.
Yeah, Aemon is.
I hate when those little I hate when those type of the nerdy kids win and shit like that. No, the balance of power is supposed to be like that. That's why it's all out of whack. That's why the bullies are supposed to win. No, sorry.
All right, okay. So then, all right. So who do you hate, Steven? Then we could go into who everybody wants to see more from.
There's nobody I really like. Like I said, there's no one I hate.
No one's getting
right
on your
now.
nerves. Not even
one's-
Laris, the fucking foot fetish.
Clubfoot? No, because I like you need these characters. Like these characters are what pushes the story along.
I wanna
like,
see
there's
more
no
Lannister.
one that I want to see dead yet. No one has irked me to the point of like, kill him. Like,
I want to see Lannister's ancestor more. I want to see Tywin's grandfather.
Yeah.
He's been around a little bit, but they haven't really been showing him that much.
They was gonna make him a little horsey.
And I am interested because the article I was reading that is very Cole. They're definitely gonna show. You want to get? Yeah, I want. Actually,
maybe
tie
Chris and Cole.
between Aemon and Cole.
Yeah, maybe Cole.
Yeah,
No,
Cole.
she's saying she thinks Allison is guilty because of Cole.
Yeah,
she's feeling
absolutely.
guilty.
Maybe
Oh yeah, they
Cole
both could have said something. They both could have been like,
But maybe
"Yo, I
Cole
was
could go.
fucking." And but she tried. She tried to tell Otto that she was fucking on the side, and that's why Cole wasn't on duty. He was on duty, but for the booty, not for the crown.
And I agree. Like, I love these juicy characters. Like, I don't want them to go anywhere. Like, I'd be pissed off if Laris is gone because I know he's got more fucking schemes up his sleeves.
Like,
I'm
you
like,
need that.
I want
You
those
need that
schemes.
juiciness.
Give me more of that. But I love.
I'm gonna miss
I
the
am
twins.
fucking obsessed with Rhaenys. It could just be Rhaenys. I could take more and more of her. I love everything she does.
Turn back. We're going on the dragons. She's like, no,
Rhaenys is still on my so she could have ended it. So Rhaenys is still not on my
I
top
love
fave.
anything she's doing.
I'm still mad
I
at
want to
her.
know more.
No aunties on set.
What did you think of? You know, we were at not winter, but we were at the wall in the first episode.
That was
Does
cool.
that make you feel like you
When
want
we
to
saw
see
the
more
start.
of that?
Like we saw the
Do you want to see more back there too?
No, because
not
that's
really.
a whole different show. The Starks are a whole different thing, and they could keep that over there until.
Okay.
And I hope they do though. I love the Starks. That's my favorite family of the whole Game of Thrones, and I really do hope they do that. But I love that scene where he was like, do you think that we have this wall just to keep out dragons? I was like, ooh, damn. And now we know. Now we know of the night. Yeah, we know the Night King and shit. So we're like, true that. True. And we saw how the dragon came down and became a zombie. We were like, damn, these motherfuckers.
And the dragons refuse to fly past.
They don't play. Yeah, exactly. So
play.
I thought that was
except
really
when
cool.
Jon Snow was on the other side and they went, you know.
Yeah, but he's a Targaryen, so like.
But even the Targaryens of past, like they could not pass that wall. Like they were
he's a hybrid.
upset, like
he's a hybrid.
Yeah, they would not go. They would not go. But yeah, he is a hybrid.
He's a Stark and a fucking Targaryen.
He's a Northerner and a Targaryen.
So
and who I want to see more of?
Yeah, who do you want to see more of?
I want to see more of. This is like a little like from left field, but I want to see more of the White Worm. Like I can't wait to see what else she has up her arm. Cool. Like she gives me like the spider. Like give me Lord Varys, like from Game of Thrones. Like she holds the secrets. She know everything. Like I really want to see like what role she's gonna play because she's a very interesting character.
She's much better. You're right. She's much better than the other Red Witch. She was terrible. I hated
her.
Yeah. The one that was fucking everybody.
She was annoying.
Wait, the Red Witch from Game of Thrones?
Yeah, because I think I think she's in the Red Keep too. I think she's in like a.
I never liked her.
I never liked her. She was so annoying.
I loved her.
I did not like her.
So annoying.
I liked her a lot.
Oh my God! You had to see the red light come into my vagina, like
exactly.
in order to see it. Like,
hello.
I know. I felt like we were all her gyno. I'm like, all right, we in there. Oh, there we go. See, I feel like I'm in there right now.
Like,
a red womb.
I was here for her.
Oh, God.
Okay, we here for your slutty era, Steve. We here for it.
Do you feel like? Yes, I'm here for it. Now, so you know, the last show definitely had some magic elements eventually added to the show. Do you feel like we might get that in this season, something like that? Because I think in the third episode's preview, if I'm not mistaken, they showed some dragon eggs. So we know dragon eggs are coming. So
more dragons will be coming.
I haven't seen any. Has there been any teasers for Mystic people that I missed?
I think that's misleading because this particular kingdom, I think this is where they kill off most of the dragons. So I think
a lot of the dragons
showing those eggs, that's great, but I think at some point someone's going to take them out because that's a big reason why the Targaryens weakened their stance for all those centuries.
Because of the civil war that they have amongst, like the civil war that's happening right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's why a lot of the dragons are going to be, you know.
Yeah, because they would have ruled forever.
Weaker and smaller.
Correct.
Oh, okay. So you don't feel like we're necessarily going to see any magic this season? Would you guys say? If you had to guess.
I'm not sure. Hopefully, but I don't. I think they're just going to mainly focus on this.
When you say magic, what do you mean?
Like, you know, people casting spells with visions, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see.
Or like, you know, we saw the White Walkers, right? And then we saw some like the elves, like not elves, but the little
children
spirits of the children of, you know. Do we think we're seeing anything like that?
Maybe. The fact that you brought up the wall, maybe, because I can't. The red wedding.
But only if they go back, I feel like. But I don't know. I think they're just mainly gonna focus on this Dance of the Dragons.
Because I don't think the red keep is not that strong yet, so they're not. I don't think that's gonna happen. The what's it called? The children. What were you saying? What are they called?
The children of the forest.
The children of the forest. They could, but there's only 8 episodes. There's only 8 episodes, and they're probably gonna take like another 2-3 years. So I just don't do that. I think they would veer off too hard.
I think you know, with Helena, I know that the directors mentioned that she was very similar to Bran in the way that she's like received all this imagery that she doesn't know quite how to put together. Because if you notice, and I believe episode 1, before she, you know, her son even was murdered, she was actually already sewing his like the burial blanket or whatever, you know, and she even says she mothers to herself the boy, you know. So she does have like a, you know, that she's a dreamer, like a lot of the Targaryens.
Like she said with the rats, like she was like, I'm not scared of I'm scared of the rats, and the
rats. She said,
the rat people came and killed her son.
She said like to her brother, you know, will I ever have a dragon? You'll have to lose your eye first or whatever. So,
yeah, she's always been flamboyant, like what's the word?
Drusilla from Buffy.
Yeah, exactly. Clairvoyant. She's always been clairvoyant.
We went back to Buffy again.
It happens around here. The nerddom expects it. So yeah, so I think that there's an open. I feel like they should like let it sit and like tease it and like save that for later. I don't think we need to hit us over
Yeah.
the head with that so strong this season because I'm enjoying like almost the real world aspects of so to speak, where it doesn't
Yeah.
have that outside of the dragons. I think it's really fun this way, but I think there's space for it later,
Of
and I'd
course,
be
there's always
into
space
it.
I
for it.
want them to keep it separate. I want that, like, if they're gonna come out with a Stark show, I want it to have all the juicy stuff from the Starks straight
Yeah.
over there.
Because they're closer to like the wall and like
Yeah, and I would love to see a Lannister
and all
show.
that
One day. That's my
magical.
favorite
Yes,
family.
me too.
I love Cersei.
David
I love Jaime.
Lannister.
Those were my favorites. I can't wait to see if they
Their
bring them.
death was so
Either bring them as a
so
prominent role in one of these, because again, I think the Stark one is going to be the next one. I think the Winterfell, that was supposed to be the first one, like you said. Jon Snow was supposed to be in it and shit. They were supposed to do a prequel, and they were supposed to do a Jon Snow, and they canceled both of them because this one was testing way better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hearing Marvel is considering doing a film that might, or even a series that might have both Jon Snow and, Daenerys, because they're both in the MCU.
And so is
So
the other brother.
Are they? Emily Clark is in the MCU. What is she? What was
she's
she
in
playing?
Secret Invasion with Samuel Jackson. She
Oh,
was
I
in,
didn't see that shit. Hell no.
And the
And I love
eldest
Samuel Jackson.
son. He's
That's
in
like
the
that did really bad.
Eternals.
She was in
Yeah,
the
he's in-
Eternals.
Like
So,
the
yeah,
oldest son.
that was
Like,
okay.
he played Icarus in the Eternals. He's like
Right.
Rickard, like Eddard Stark's eldest son. What was his name?
Oh, I love him.
Like from the Red Wedding.
Love it.
Like,
Oh my
he plays
god, one of my
Icarus
favorite
in-
shows, Bodyguard. Yes, I love him. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I was sad when he died in the Red Wedding because he would have been a
Yeah.
good king. He would have been a decent.
Yeah, I did not. That Red Wedding took me for a fucking loop. I didn't see that shit coming at all.
So
I
my
was like,
so me and my brother's wife, my sister-in-law, we watched the show before he started watching it. So my brother started watching the show, then he started reading the books. So he surpassed where we were. And so he did not tell us about the Red Wedding. So we're watching the Red Wedding one day. We're like, ah. And he goes, yo, imagine I read it. He said he threw the book. He said when he first started reading the Red Wedding, he threw the book. He went.
It's horrible, but
and he said he was dreading it when he knew it was coming to the TV. He was like, "Oh hell no!"
Not necessarily a spoiler because it's Game of Thrones we're talking and not House of Dragon, but in the books, like John, the wife is still very much alive. Like she didn't get killed in the Red Wedding.
Oh, I said Katniss, like Hunger Games. Yes, she becomes like a zombie queen. Yes.
No, not the mom. Like the wife, she doesn't get in the belly. Like she's.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I know.
Very much alive in the book.
Yes.
Like she's not dead yet. Like she didn't get got.
The woman
she didn't get got.
Okay.
Tom Hardy show. Yes, I know.
And so, question to you guys. Everybody is chatting about this when the show comes up, so I want to get your guys' point of view. Season 2 just started, and there people are having conversations about viewership. But this weekend we did have the Tonys, and it's Father's Day. What do you think? Do you think is there reasons why this might not be as much of a hit as Game of Thrones right now? What do you think?
I thought the ratings were through the roof. It's not?
No, unfortunately, they're getting there's some conversation going around how it's a little bit of lower viewership. So people are talking about, was it the Tonys? Was it Father's Day? What is there anything that comes to you about like maybe why this wouldn't be as popular? Like, do you remember like a different feeling when you were watching season 1 or 2 of Game of Thrones, or you just
I
feel
still
like
get excited. Like I think it's a great show, but maybe like some audiences are feeling like the same thing how the MCU is suffering with like superhero fatigue. Maybe they feel like done that. Like,
I can see that.
I still love it. Like I'm a total geek for like the Game of Thrones universe. So like
and that was
I'm
a big
not
reason
over
why
it. I still watch.
You're right, and that was a big reason why I wasn't gonna watch it. I don't love spinoffs because I dedicate a lot of my time to these TV shows, and I'm just like, damn, you're gonna get me again. And no, I could see that. I didn't know that though. I thought it was doing well. I thought like people were really like that. The last episode with the dragon eating the kid, like it did really well.
Yeah.
I thought this was like the second most popular show to Last of Us.
Well, you know what's happening too, if you consider people are having conversations around the first season had incredible, like never done before marketing.
Yeah.
Flags on bridges, a fucking dragon on the fucking Empire State Building. Like this season, I haven't
Yeah.
seen any like real life
Oh
advertising
yeah,
for
they
it.
put the dragon on the. Wasn't that this season that they did that? The dragon
Yeah,
on the Empire State Building.
Robert.
I thought that was last season.
No, I just saw that like the other
Nah,
day.
you were
Okay.
right. You're right. It's down 22%. That
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So well, that's
Maybe
so it's
people
just
also got like tired of the wait because remember the writer strike. Like it was supposed to come back a while ago, and look how
That's
long it took. Like
That's
people's
very
attention
true.
span nowadays, but TikTok, like we just got 15 seconds and that's it. Like our attention span is
that's
gone.
true.
Like so,
I
True.
that
think
could
they
also
know
be
better
playing
for
a
next
factor into
season.
it. You
They're ready. They're gonna have these next ones ready.
Yeah, they have to.
I
Yeah.
hope so. I
Because I
hope the
think the
third
same thing is
season comes
probably going to
out quicker.
happen when what's that show on with 11 on Netflix?
Stranger
Yeah.
Things.
Stranger Things. When Stranger Things comes out, I'm sure it's probably going to suffer from the same thing. Like we've been waiting. Like these motherfuckers are like 30 now. Like they were like 12 when the show started, and they're like 30 now. We're still
Yeah,
waiting for the
Euphoria
final
too.
season.
Euphoria.
Like 11 is married. Like
Yeah.
like 11 is
Drake.
married in real life. So it's like these people are adults now, and we waited so long. So it might suffer the same thing, like where the ratings are not as strong, even though it's like Stranger Things put Netflix on the map.
Yeah,
Right.
Stranger Things, Euphoria. Well, Stranger Things on Netflix. Last of Us is not coming out
Oh
until
yeah,
next.
Euphoria. I heard Euphoria is finally in production.
Yeah, but they
And
already said it was going to take like 4 years in
Yeah, I think
between,
it's not going to show up to like 2026.
and they're going to be
something
older
like
and
too. They're
that.
going to be in college.
and just for our
Yeah.
geeks, staying on target with Game of Thrones. That's what our fans. That's what we love. We love the Game of Thrones world. So we're gonna stay on the subject. I did. One of my folks up on Screen Crush. She made a good point. Where she said, and I think I was discussing this with you, Mr. Jimmy Moonshine, about how the original show was a sweeping epic, right? She described it as a sweeping epic, where this one is more like Succession, but with
Yeah.
dragons. It's like that's what this comes. It's a family drama essentially.
Yeah, it's giving
Um,
novella. Like
so
it's giving
it's mostly about rich people. Like people got
like
castles
Dallas,
and shit.
like
You
that show
know,
Dallas from back in the day. Like it's giving that
Ah,
right?
vibes of it.
Dallas, true
Like
power.
the two prominent families going against each
Who
other.
killed
Like
Ghost?
exactly. Oh,
So there's that. Maybe some people this isn't for them. But also one thing that we were talking about, some things we're looking forward to. I'm like, hey, can we eventually see Allison and fucking Rhaenyra back on good terms? I would fucking love that. I'm all
For like a
about
hot second, they
that.
will. For a hot second, they will. It's too far gone.
At least a hot second. I'm
Mm-mm.
hoping.
This is not an
Because
Ariana Grande
I
video,
think
Robert.
Allison
Stop.
has love for Rhaenyra, but Rhaenyra has no love lost for Allison.
I
No, I
think
Like,
think
that
you,
I don't think it's.
first of
I don't
all,
think
you
they're gonna give an
banged my
opportunity.
first of all, you banged my father. Second of all, you took my throne. Third of all, you had your child murder my child. Like,
Damn,
I
you're
ain't
right. There's a
got time
lot
for you,
of strikes.
girl.
There's a lot of strikes.
Done. We're done. That's
Damn.
already three. Like, there's no
do
coming
you
back.
think
Like,
you
you have
wouldn't
love for me
forgive me,
because you feel
Steven?
guilty.
Damn, she's
What?
got like she got like the wiffle ball strikeout. Holy shit! Like
Yeah, I'm like,
unlimited
no,
strikeout.
like
Holy
you
shit!
gotta go, girl. Like, you may have love for me because you feel guilty. I have no love for you.
I think they're gonna have a tender
None.
moment. I think
Nope.
they're gonna have
I
one more
think
tender
so.
moment before the show
Definitely.
ends.
No.
And I don't think it's gonna last that
No.
long. I think like the third
Yeah.
or fourth season,
No.
it's too expensive to make. And especially with
Rhaenyra should
2%
just
drop off, Discovery is probably shitting bricks right now.
Do we want to see the younger actors come back in any form, like the Allison and Rhaenyra?
maybe
Does
a
that interest you?
flashback.
Those were my favorite ones. Because I actually like the teenage versions better, actors wise.
Oh.
Do you think we will see
I
them?
prefer the
I like a
I think
flashback,
the
maybe.
adults bring like, especially the Rhaenyra. They both were good, but I don't see the younger Rhaenyra.
But do you see them coming back? Do you
the
think we'll
older
get a
Rhaenyra
flashback.
did.
episode?
Flashback, maybe. Yeah, maybe
Maybe
like
a flashback episode. Like maybe like
That is
like
popular
when they're
now.
thinking back of like maybe Allison is having memories of when they were young and like
I would
friends.
love it. I would love it. They started off the show. They got us hooked.
Yeah.
That's
You
true.
know?
But we knew that time jump was coming, and a lot
But
of
they're
people
doing a
were
good job.
anticipating.
Alice,
Yeah, they
the
did
woman
excellent.
that plays
job.
Allison.
They did phenomenal, and the casting was so great. Like they
I
looked
agree.
similar to like their younger counterparts.
Yeah.
No, that would have been good. And you know what? That actor that played her, she didn't look that young anyway. They could have put on some makeup.
Yeah, she was like 21 or something like that.
But-
like she wasn't that young.
But back then they aged like incredibly because they go through a lot. And this woman had a lot of kids. So it wouldn't have looked
And in the
right.
book, she's more fat. Like Rhaenyra's
Yeah,
more
yeah,
chunky.
you're right.
Like she loses her looks. Like
You're
she's
right.
supposed
You're
to
right.
be like heavy set and like
Yeah, because they made her like a breeder.
yeah,
They made her like a
basically.
cow.
Like yeah. Unfortunately, that's what the woman's role. You had to produce a male heir. Like keep popping them out until you get that son.
But that's why
Aw.
she's good. But that's why she's perfect for this game because
Yeah,
she does it all. She could play the domestic role. She
and
could
play the
play the
warrior.
warrior. She could
Yeah,
play the strategist. So that's why I think she's a great character.
yeah. She's the
I
best.
think, you know, I don't know. I do feel like there is something up the creators' sleeves about getting them somehow to connect because there's a lot going on. We see Allison doesn't fully trust her son, and she may get desperate and end up at least. And she was sent. I think she said something about she's not responding to my letters, or she hasn't responded to my letters,
Yeah.
or something.
Why
So
would
there is
she?
like they're trying to be in communication.
She's
Um,
trying, like I said, because she feel guilty. And when it was like, no,
But
bitch,
Rhaenyra
I ain't
was
got no like,
away. They
no.
never showed Rhaenyra's like saying she just didn't give a fuck about those letters. She just happened to be away getting Jaharis's or whatever her fuck her Luke's
Remains.
remains. So she just didn't see the letters. I wonder if
Yeah.
they'll say, "Oh, Damon kept them or burned them," or
Yeah.
he doesn't want them to be friends. I don't know, but I would love to see
I think Allison
Grace.
crossed too many
My
lines.
girl Grace Randolph on Beyond the Trail, she was like, it seems like the women realize that they have to depend on each other in some ways in this world, right? Because the men in their lives are really undependable. It's like, so I don't know. I think there could be space for a little reunion. It's not gonna last. I agree. It ain't gonna last because nobody wants to see that. That'll be a boring
Yeah.
show anyway.
Yeah.
But I think there
Because I
might
had
be that
plenty of
moment.
Allisons in my life, and I have no, like, I don't want to go away. Like, you don't
I
need to come
agree.
back.
I agree,
We've all
Robert.
had a few
There's a
Alice.
little.
We all have at least one Allison in our lives.
Yes, exactly. And
So
go
even though,
away.
right, even though there's not the same creators anymore, Jonathan Nolan, they all left over to Netflix, the showrunners, the former showrunners of Game of Thrones. But I think they listened to the feedback of the other show. A lot of people thought, even though the books were already written, a lot of people thought that like it took too long for the female protagonist to like really be prominent because in the beginning it was just rape, 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 and then
Break.
yeah, and then the female characters like Sansa and Daenerys, they all just like they became into prominence. This one, I agree with both of you. They've done a better job showing the female unity right from jump. Like whatever the case may be, like whether it's in secret, whether it's like a head nod, you could see the female unity more in this season than you've seen in the other ones.
My mom in the chat says Allison betrayed her.
Yes.
Do you feel like from the jump so she took on the role of being his wife, right? And that would probably be hurtful to maybe any of us. Like, damn, bitch, you fucking my father. But
Yeah.
her father made her. She didn't have a choice. So if I was my friend, I would be like, what the fuck else was she gonna do, right? Like she had to because her father made her. And then when it came to putting her son in place, they did genuinely make it seem like Allison was under the impression that that's what her father wanted. I mean, her husband wanted. Viserys wanted Aegon to take the
She heard what she
throne.
wanted to hear.
True.
She heard what she wanted to
True.
hear.
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes what you want to hear sounds exactly like what's being said, and you can't help it, right? So it's like, I felt like Allison is not as like irredeemable. I feel like, I don't know. Where
Because
do you
she plays
think?
that innocent, like,
Where do you think
woe is me.
what do you think makes her unforgivable when it comes to her and Rhaenyra? Like, what do you? I don't know.
She crossed too many lines.
Like
I
what?
gave you all three of my
Like,
reasons
wait, tell me
why.
again, because I missed that. I
The
don't
fact
think
I
I.
that
don't
she
oh, go ahead.
banged her daddy, the fact that she usurped her throne, and the
But
fact
those
that
both those.
she freaking killed, like, her son killed her son.
But none
Like,
of that was her fault. Like she had to do those first two things, and the third she couldn't control. Her son did that.
I
yeah.
agree
So
with both of
But
you. I
still,
agree with
like,
both of you.
you don't look at it that way. You're not looking at it logically when that happens to you. You're just like, fuck this girl.
But
Right?
what you say,
But
Finn?
Rhaenyra is even keeled. The woman lost her son, and she was
Yeah.
able to keep her composure.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with both of you. I think in a natural setting, Rhaenyra would be like, "Yo, fuck this bitch. Like, I'm never talking to you again." But I think she knows who her father is, Otto Hightower. She knows that that's just the way she was raised. The same thing when you guys were talking about before about being a good mother. I don't think she's a
Yeah.
bad mother. It's just that her only example was Otto, and Otto is Otto. That's the way she raised her. I know you
Yeah.
guys have been through it before. Like, that's the best I could do. That's the way that I was taught. And some
Mm-hmm.
people veer away from that. Some people become their own parents, and they don't just rely on like. But back then, especially when kids weren't even being like alive, like past like 5, you know what I'm saying? Like they
Yeah.
once you made it past 5 years old, you were like, okay, well now you're just like a regular person. So now
You a
you're just
full on adult. You should
yeah,
you paying a
exactly.
mortgage. You paying a mortgage, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. At that time, 14, you were like fucking like a grandparent. So
Period.
they yeah, no, so everything was advantageous, everything was a setup. And I think she was just trying to replicate what her father was doing. So I don't think she was a terrible person, a terrible mother. These are the cards she was dealt, and I think Rhaenyra knows that.
Hmm. Yeah, I think Rhaenyra, like you said, she's even killed, and I think she's not like. I don't think she has like that same bad blood. I don't think there's like you said no love lost. I don't think she's has that much bad blood against Allison. She's not even a fucking factor because you know what? End of the day, she's not like she's like the last of her worries. You know what
In
I
the words
mean?
of
Like
Evelyn Lozado from Basketball Wives, she's a non-motherfucker factor, bitch.
Allison, bitch, you're not. I would love to see them do that Game of Thrones.
That
You
was
know?
good. That was good. I already watched Basketball Live, but I got it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So we do gotta wind down. Any
Yeah.
final takeaways? Anything that I didn't cover that comes to mind that just is like so juicy you have to mention before we go?
Michael, or Michelle, yeah, Michael. Even if Allison redeems her friendship with Rhaenyra, the war now has begun. Yeah, true.
It's
Yeah.
between Aegon and Rhaenyra.
Yeah, true.
Brother and
Okay.
sister. Boom, boom. Let's
Yeah,
go.
there's going to be so many things that prevent Allison and Rhaenyra. I think that both of them always wanted to be friends. I don't think they ever.
Yeah, they didn't hate each other. Like they weren't
Did
like
you guys see Shogun? Did you guys see Shogun? Not to show hop, but they had a relationship like that too. These two, one of them, it's very similar actually. One of them, her father was becoming king, and then they took him out, and she became the mistress of the king, and even so, it's like very very similar.
That's on Hulu, right?
Yeah, that's on Hulu FX, and so when they get reacquainted as an adult, they're like they always wanted to be friends, but there was just so many things that came in between them. And like Steve said, too many strikes.
Like Monica and Brandy.
True, Ariana. True, Ariana. I knew that was coming.
That was just for you, Vince. Anything come to mind, Steve, that you
Not for
didn't
me. I'm
get
good.
to we
No, I'm
didn't
just
chat
like
about?
I'm excited to see like the story progress, like because it's been to me stellar the first 2 episodes.
I
So,
love them. I want to duplicate myself. I want to clone myself so I can bring up the viewership. That 22%. Like, damn, I love this show.
right.
Yeah, I'm excited. This show's got me, I can't be anywhere else on a Sunday. I'm like, I gotta see this. I
Yeah,
gotta see it ASAP. I need to know what's
I usually
happening.
DVR. Yeah, I usually on demand, but this show, like
yeah,
I'm there 9 p.m. I'm there Eastern Standard
Yeah.
Time.
same.
Yeah,
That
I'm like,
part.
I need to know what the fuck is happening. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of show. I would say this most of the time. The Marvel shows, I do try to catch them like
Yeah,
the same or next day. But this is probably one of the more recent shows that's just like
Hot
I
D and
need.
Hot D, Michael.
Okay, Allison got a lot of hot D. She
Hot,
sure
hot D and
is,
Hot D.
and I ain't mad at Allison. I ain't
Allison
mad.
getting that box eaten on the
I
regular.
know, man. The home box office. She got that. She got that. She HBO.
And back then they wasn't really so it was like a whole.
Vroom.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
I
Well,
digress.
okay, and I do. This just came to mind. The topic of Hot D. Do we think there's space for Damon and Mazaria, I should say, to get back together? Like without spoilers, just from what you see.
His former baby mother.
Yeah, or The one,
No.
His
the
baby
white
mama
worm,
dead.
the white
Oh, the white
worm.
worm. Oh, the white worm.
Do
Yeah.
you see, like, from what the show
No,
has shown? Do you
no,
think that there's a
Mm,
space for that?
no. He views her as a whore.
yeah.
It's over. That's over. I think
Okay.
her. I think her character is going to be pivotal. I don't think it's
Mm.
going to be in a sexual way though.
Maybe
Fair
she'll
enough.
mess around and end up being with Rhaenyra.
I can see that. I can see that. Rhaenyra still,
Rhaenyra gives LGBTQ.
but that's what you guys said before. Yeah, yeah. But I think she. That's why when you said they're similar, Damon, they don't. They have a
They
sexual
don't.
prowess about them,
Yeah.
and they have that sexual energy. So it's
Hmm.
very transactional. It's like the only people they have passion for is each other, Damon and Rhaenyra. But anybody else is just like it's
It's
just to
just
get ahead of the
it's
game. Or
just a scratch an itch or like.
I literally was going to say that. There you go.
And I really, these kids, Rhaenyra's son, that he's already on the dragons, and then the daughters of Daemon. I'm looking forward to. It may not be this season, but I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to seeing them progress. I really do want
And
to
they
see
seem
more
like they
from
got
them.
genuine love for each other because she really like was soothing him when he was like sad about his brother's death and stuff like that.
I
Like
want to see
so,
more from
even though they're like
him.
betrothed to each other at a young age, there's
And is that
genuine
a
love
new
there.
actor?
I think
No,
so.
I think it's the same one.
No,
I
it's.
think
I'm pretty sure it's a new
Oh, it is?
actor.
Oh,
I
I
shit.
think
thought
that
he looked different, but I'm again, it's been years, so like he
Yeah.
probably just aged.
I heard. I think I did hear that because I
Yeah,
was watching. I was like, wait, I did think I read something about that they were gonna replace him. And it's
yeah.
crazy to think anybody would leave fucking a
Oh,
hit
that's not
like
their
this.
choice.
Sometimes it's not by
That's
choice. For
never their
him, or the
choice.
writer strike happened. Maybe like something happened.
Mm,
Life happens.
I
Yeah.
don't
No,
know.
you're right. You don't leave that show.
Yeah,
They do it for script purposes or for visuals or testing. Like if the
yeah.
audience didn't love them.
Michael in the chat says Damon doesn't know what he wants.
I don't get
Yeah.
that question. Clarify, Michael, please.
Allison is showing weakness by trying to please everyone. Luce says, and I could see that. I think she is a people pleaser. Um, and she's being a people pleaser doesn't always work out for you. You know,
Sure.
so doesn't know what he wants. I think Damon. Yeah, I don't know if he doesn't know what he wants. I think Damon knows exactly what he wants. He just doesn't know how he's gonna get what he wants.
I don't think he knows how to express it. I don't think I think that people again, I think people have a notion about him already. So it's hard for him to operate in a different direction because everybody just assumes that they know that he's predictable. And
Yeah.
so I do think he knows what he wants. I think he wants Rhaenyra. I think this is the closest he's going to get to having the throne. If he tried to take it by force right now, I think they would reject it anyway. So I think he does want to support Rhaenyra being on the crown, and I don't think he knows how to express that because everybody just thinks they know what his moves
They're
are going to
assuming
be.
the worst of him, like his intentions,
I love
because
him.
he's shown like how hot-headed he can be and how temperamental and emotionally like reactive he can be.
Yes.
Wait, was this the series, or am I confusing it with Game of Thrones, where there was a man that was gay that they pretended he died and he went away?
No, that
Was
was that was this series. That's
this series, right?
Rhaenyra's
Okay.
baby daddy, like her alleged baby daddy, like
Oh, see,
her
like I
husband,
have like
Bi.
okay.
the
The baby
Valerian,
daddy was bi. I didn't
like
know
the
that.
Valerian, like
Yeah, I
he like
remember
the
he
one that
was
she was
bi.
betrothed to that she had to marry.
Yeah, I remember him being gay, and I'm like, what happened? That character still hasn't come back, right?
He went on a boat somewhere, but like
Okay.
that'll just be HBO's
I
imagining,
am
like what
so
they do with him,
confused.
because in the books that character is gone.
I don't remember
Like,
this character. I remember the baby daddy that they killed him though. I thought.
no, like the one that she had to marry, the Valerian.
Remember, he escaped on a boat.
Oh, did he escape? I thought he died too. I thought he
Yeah,
died.
they
The
put
brother.
him on a boat like that.
Yeah,
Like I said, that'll just be HBO's reimagining. Because like spoiler alert, but in the book,
So they're
when
gonna
they
bring
kill
him
him
back.
in the show, he's dead.
For
In
some
the
reason, I
book.
thought he
Like,
died. But yes, okay. Yeah, I can see them bringing him back. Yes, he was. She was the beard.
Laenor.
Now I
Thanks,
remember she
Michael.
was the
Laenor
beard.
Valerian. There we
Yeah.
go.
Yes, she was the beard for him. Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
She was the beard.
And yeah, how could I
They were
forget?
the
Yeah, that was a
Roosevelts.
big part because like she basically was
But that's
having
how
kids
long
all
ago
the
the
time.
show was. It's hard to remember these details.
You know what? You know where they got that from? They got that from Queen Catherine. What's her name? Catherine the Great. Catherine the Great did that all the time. She was. Did you ever see the show The Great?
Yes, that show is great.
Yeah. She was banging
Show
somebody
great
on the
for all
side and
intents and
having all these
purposes.
kids.
Yeah.
And don't forget Judy the Great. Judy Garland was
Oh,
banging
someone,
people,
someone
banging
frozen.
gay
That's real
guys.
life.
Okay, she was
Shout out to
banging gay
Liza.
guys. Judy Garland had a lot of gay husbands and kids with him.
Oh,
you know. But yeah, we'll wait for Vince before we close out. But anybody have any questions in the chat that you want to ask before we go? Anything you want to bring up?
Oh, my
Let us
AirPods
know.
died.
Let us
Shout
know.
out to Mama Luz. You are the best. You are the best. I love
Definitely.
interacting with you. Michael, Skyland. Who else was on here?
Our girl,
Ashmeen.
Asmin, yes,
Yes.
Santiago.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you. You guys popped this
You
off
guys
for us.
rock.
Thank you. Thank you. You made this so interesting.
you. Yeah,
Not
for
that not that
sure.
my panel would. You guys are amazing.
Thanks. You too. You too. All right. Well, I guess we could wrap it up. Again, real quick. Any final thoughts? Any final thoughts? Quick, quick, quick.
No, Cole needs to wrap it up. Cole needs to wrap it up.
Tony.
No,
Could she get pregnant?
yes, she can. Yes, she can. They probably put a lemon up there or something, but like, yes, she can.
That's the old trick, huh? Okay. Don't listen to that advice.
And I love
girls at
everybody's
home. That
outfits.
don't work.
I love everybody's outfits. You guys rocked it. The costumes was amazing. So good.
Oh,
So good.
dang.
Everybody looking great.
Okay.
As are you, darling.
No,
When is the next one? We'll be
I'm
back
running the
next
mullet.
week.
You
I
got
don't
the
know if they
Jon
got the
Snow
mullets.
going on. Jon Snow meets Elvis.
Okay. We're gonna figure.
Heartbreak Dragon Hotel.
I
we got
love it.
Aegon over here. We got Aegon over here.
Yes, I felt like this.
Robert looks like a king from Shrek. He looks like
Lord Farquaad.
yeah, Lord Farquaad.
I love Dick Solomon. What's his name? The actor who plays Lord
John
Farquaad.
Lithgow.
John, that's my man. I love him.
Yeah, that's everybody. That's Trinity. That's everybody's guy. Harry and the Hendersons. That's our guy, man. He's the man.
So Mikhail is asking when will we be back? So I for sure want to do the show next week.
Sure.
Vince,
Yeah.
Vince, you'll be
we
here.
make time.
Okay.
I'm here. I love talking
Okay,
to you.
great. So we'll be back with you guys next week about it. This is so exciting. It was so fun. I can't wait to do
Yes.
more.
Thank you, Robert.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yes, we'll see you next week, bitch.
Yeah, of course. And Robert and I host Keep Up. We'll be back after the 4th. We'll be premiering. No, actually, there's another premiere. You'll just see a lot of promotions for that. But come back for this. I can't wait for this.
Yes, we're excited. I'm so excited. This is great. We'll get some more content out to you guys. Maybe some hot takes on this. We never know. We got a lot coming up for you. So, JimiMoonshine, where can people find you?
Well, on Instagram at JimiMoonshine. That's the best place to find me.
Okay, nice. Okay, how about you, Mr. Stillvinsane?
I am anywhere you could read Braille. No, I'm joking. I am. If you type in Stillvinsane, if you see it right on the bottom of my screen, just type that in anywhere. Keep Up. Even if you type in Robert Mercado, I'm pretty sure the algorithm will lead you to me too. We're attached at the hip at the moment. But yeah, Stillvinsane. STILL. Not the STD, but yeah, STILLVINSANE. I'm here for it.
Nice. And I'm Robert Mercado World. You can find me on Instagram, the Twitters, the TikToks, the YouTubes. Everywhere that you are,
Right.
I want to be there. I hope to see you there. Follow me. I'll follow you back. I really appreciate that. Share this, guys. This is, word of mouth means a lot. I appreciate everybody who shares.
Comment, share, all that good.
Yeah. And we have the Keep Up
Subscribe.
web series. So there's a lot going on. I'm not going to change
Subscribe
too
to
much
Robert
subject.
Mercado World and Stillvinsane, please.
Yes, but we are all nerds. We are fucking obsessed with this show. So you'll sweat it out with us next week. All right, we'll be back to talk more shit.
Saddleback.
I can't do that. This is my real hair, so I wish I could do that. But all right, it was nice seeing everybody.
Yes.
We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Buenas
All
noches.
right, Dracarys.
Dracarys.
that cat is. Oh, I gotta change my.
Sounded like Harry Potter over here.
Oh, I see green fire over there. Wildfire.
Damn. Oh
I'm a
my
White
God.
Walker on the
Oh.
throne.
You're a
Yeah,
Smurf
damn.
walker.
You're a White Walker.
We're Gargamel.
Okay.
Catch you
Yeah,
later,
thank
guys.
you.
Have a great night.
All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Oh, don't sign off, Steve, because I have
Okay.
to.
Yeah.
Hold up.
All right.
End stream.